How to use your past performance to win government contracts. My name is Melinda Colon. I'm a government contracting expert. I've helped my clients achieve over $5.7 billion in contracts since 2020. That doesn't include corporate American experience. That just includes our proposal development agency, our strategies, and our consulting services that has gotten that result. So today I actually want to share with you something that's going to be able to help you in a big way achieve your business goals for 2026 and beyond. Most business owners underestimate their past performance. See, they don't realize that they already have what agencies already want, and they are constantly buying every single day. And that belief is costing them government contracts, revenue stream that's consistent and cash flowing. If you've delivered results for commercial clients, subcontractors, private sector firms, or even through your leadership experience, you already have what government buyers care about most. Now, I'm going to break this down very simply today so that you can see exactly how to use the work you've already done to compete and to win government contracts. And the truth is that this is one of the simplest ways to de-risk your business and add a revenue stream that stays steady no matter what the market is doing. Now, first things first is why agencies buy past performance first. Now, let's start with the big question. Why does past performance matter so much to government buyers? It comes down to a few core things: authority, confidence in delivering excellence, ethical deliverance, and reduced risk. Now, let's break down authority. They want to see you've actually done the work. One of the most common questions in a written proposal is, what is your relevant experience? See, most businesses, most people assume that that means government experience, but it doesn't. It actually means any experience. So let's take, for example, an apple. You sold apples before to private sector clients, to other clients besides government. And the government is now asking you to sell the same apple to them. That is considered relevant experience. Now, it's not about who you sold it to as much as it is about what you sold. And it's about whether you've successfully delivered the same type of work to someone else. That's why past performance is so powerful. It proves that you can do the thing that they need done. And it positions you as the lower risk choice every single time. Now, let's move on to confidence from authority. Confidence in delivering excellence comes natural to an established business. And it's one of the more attractive aspects for a government buyer. They want proof that you can execute without handholding. If you can show that you delivered that apple to your client successfully and help them accomplish their goal of receiving really good, ripe apples, that demonstrates excellence. They're looking at, and let me articulate what excellence looks like: apples with no bruises, consistent size and quality, no bugs or defects, cleaned and washed, packaged properly, labeled clearly. And let's say they're asking for 5 crates delivered. Each crate is the same quantity and quality. This is execution. This is quality. This is what is attractive to a government buyer. And that is the kind of proof that government buyers look for every day. And when they evaluate whether you'll deliver the same level of excellence to them, it pretty much increases your win rate. Now, let's move from confidence to ethical. deliverance. They want a partner who does what they say they'll do. This is one of the most common responses that I hear directly from government buyers across the United States when I'm speaking to them about other things, having conversations about procurement processes and acquisitions. They bring this commonly up. Okay. Ethical deliverance is matters because they want to know that you'll show up, that you follow through, and that you want to keep your word. And here's the part that most business owners overlook. If you've been in business for, let's say, 5 years or 10 years, or even 15 years, and if you've serving clients consistently, you're generating, let's say, high six, seven figures, eight figures. That means that you already have a ton of track experience that you can leverage to win government contracts. You don't have to sell anything new. You just package what you've already done. That kind of stability, that kind of consistency, that kind of reputation that you already have is the leverage key to build a win win scenario in government contracting. It's exactly what government agencies want to buy. So, when you can show that you've delivered results for other clients, other companies, other industries, that experience still counts. It means so much in front of the government buyer. It still proves you're reliable and ethical in your industry, down to the way that you deliver excellence. Now, there are some rare occasions when an RFP specifically asks for government to government experience, but that is not the norm. It's very rare. In my experience and decades of experience, I may have seen this 5 times. Like my agency has looked through thousands of solicitations, and this is very rare that comes up. But I wanted to let you know in case you come across that. Most solicitations simply want to see that you can do the work, you do it well, and you do it consistently. And if you're in business for 5, 10, 15 plus years, you're already winning and you already have that. And they wanted reduced risk. Why is this important? Because agencies are under the pressure of spending money in the right way. They're responsible for taxpayer dollars, and they want to make sure that the awarded contractor or company like yours is capable of delivering on what they said they could. So even if this wasn't a government agency, you still want to showcase that you can reduce risk, that you'll deliver on your promises, that you'll commit to the systems that they laid out and you responded to in your proposal. It's not about being perfect, it's about being proven. Now, the second thing we'll talk about is multiple revenue streams are necessary. Now, I want to share with you a story about a man, a business owner who lost a multi-million dollar company during COVID. Not because he wasn't good at what he did, not because he lacked clients, but because all his revenue came from private sector, all of it. And he kept saying to himself, I'll get to government contracting eventually. I'm too busy. My book of business is stocked. I'm good. I don't need to worry about this right now. But he eventually never came. Then COVID hit, something that no one expected was coming. And just like that, literally overnight, his entire client base dried up. It was too late to prospect for new clients. We're all in shutdown. So his business suffered and he has to start from scratch. But the good news is he has all of this past performance that he can leverage in this new business venture. You see, what felt like starting as a beginner is now him starting as an expert and just positioning what he's already done for the last 20 plus years as the excellence that government buyers are looking for. Meanwhile, During that same period of the pandemic, of the recent government shutdown, federal, state, local, and even education and agencies were still awarding contracts. Millions of dollars, billions of dollars. Why? Because there were essential services and goods necessary to keep the government going, to keep the economy flowing. Even during the recent government shutdown, there were contracts being awarded. Now, while the media was focused on panic, government contracting moved quietly in the background, making sure that the services that you get as a resident, as a business owner, you're continuing to receive, like running water, plumbing, electricity, traffic signals, and just engineering overall, and so many other services. So, delivering stable, recurring revenue to your business, that's the way to position to win. The beautiful part is that today I get to help him rebuild. Rebuild not from scratch, but rebuild with experience and excellence. And to be honest, it's a differentiator because what he's bringing to the marketplace, very few have that level of experience and that willing to stay in and be competitive for long term. One of the benefits of government contracts is that it doesn't follow trends. It doesn't follow the ups and downs of the market. They're consistent and they can last in your business for years. And I'm not saying just 5 years, 10 years. I know businesses that utilize government contracts as a diversified revenue for over 100 years. So whether it's a recession, a depression, a pandemic, a shutdown, your business stays protected. Now, my client stays paid. His cash flow is strong again. And he's now getting positioned to win like many of my success stories in the following industries. So there are numerous amount of industries within the public sector market. There is federal, which most people focus on, but there is state. There's also local, like municipalities and counties. There's airports, correctional facilities, court systems, development authorities, EMS and fire districts, healthcare organizations like public hospitals, and higher education like public colleges, housing authority, libraries, Native American organizations, public utility, schools like K through 12 school districts, state affiliated insurers, student loan guarantors, toll authorities like here in Florida is the Florida Turnpike, and transit systems. There are a significant amount of government agencies that are readily available to do business with you in your local area. So if you're not interested in federal, you can pick from the dozens that I just listed. The four types of past performance you can use are commercial and private sector, subcontract work, teaming in JV, and leadership or executive experience. Let me break this down a little bit. So, commercial and private sector work, this is basically what you're doing every day, your commercial experience. If you're selling B2B, this is a great opportunity to leverage what you're already doing on the commercial or corporate side to sell to government. Say, for example, you're in construction. Those same services are necessary in government. In fact, it's one of the top 5 industries that the government buys from. IT, cybersecurity, consulting, professional services, like if you're a tax collector or a tax expert or strategist, an analyst, financial expert, or a legal expert. These are services the government buys. So this is an opportunity for you to leverage what you're already doing. But let me use the Apple example for the next three. Subcontract work. So, say, for example, in that scenario with the apples, you supply the apples, but another company is asking you to supply the apples so that they can package it in a beautiful basket, wrap it in cellophane and ribbon. That would be considered you as a subcontractor. You're helping them fulfill a product or service for their client. Teaming or JV experience, where whether it's you or your team or strategic hire, it could be your company, whatever that looks like, how you have delivered excellence for that client is considered relevant experience as long as it's relevant. Lastly is leadership or executive experience. Now, let's say you're, just a few years in your business, let's say 5 or 7 years, and you might not have the long past 10s or 15 years of past performance experience, but you have done exactly what you're selling in your business previously before starting your business. This is definitely relevant experience. See, at the end of the day, you have tons of experience, tons of knowledge and expertise that are hiding in your business that you're not leveraging right now. All we need to do is package it so that you can win. The fourth is turning regular work into contract winning proof. This is what we're talking about, how to do this properly. See, one of my favorite things, one of the favorite parts is because where I am educating a business owner who's expert, who's seasoned, who's experienced, is not a beginner, and they start to see how immediately they have exactly the right experience to win multi-million or even billion-dollar contracts. In my experience, I've helped my clients win million-dollar contracts, 10 million, 50 million, 100 million, and even a $1 billion contract. And it didn't happen just because we wanted it. It happened because we got strategic and we leaned into what that specific agency wanted most. And because we talked their language and we positioned for what they wanted, just that apple, whether it was a green apple or red apple, whether they wanted 10 or 5, we just used their experience to win those contracts. And now they have cash flow. One of my clients was able to double the size of their company in 18 months, going from 30 employees to 60 employees. Another one of my clients won their first $1 million contract, competing up against 11 competitors that are way bigger than them. Another one of our clients won 2 contracts in total of $15 million in less than 90 days, all utilizing past performance. So you already have what you need to win in government contracts. And you're probably thinking to yourself, how do we do this? What do we have to do to unlock this revenue stream of government contracts? Well, I'm glad you asked. We are going to be having a GovCon Executive Briefing next Wednesday. It's a short 45-minute conversation so that I can reveal to you what's going to be the best plan of action for your business to get into government contracting. When I was doing research years ago on government contracts, I came over and discovered that many of the more historical names like Rockefeller, Carnegie, Ford, they actually did contracts too. They just didn't call it government contracts. You see, they diversified their revenue as well, working with government agencies, making sure that they were building an impact and improving the way that lives were being lived, the way that people played, the people worked every day. And these are things that you're already doing in your business. You're just not yet doing it for a public agency. This is what I do. I want to help you understand whether or not it's the right decision to move forward with government contracts now, and so that you can make the thoughtful decision to accelerate the success of your business in 2026 or beyond with government contracts. If not, it's going to be a great opportunity for you to get all of the resources and the information you need so that when you are ready to take the plunge, you have the materials and a point of contact that you can reach out to move forward with. All you'll need to do is click the link down below to register for the GovCon Executive Briefing. It's coming up on December 17th, which is next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is an exclusive conversation for executive leaders, decision makers who are running service based businesses. So, if you're already an established business, you have clients, and you've been in business for several years, if not decades, this is an opportunity for you to learn how you can leverage what you're already doing to add a revenue stream that will cash flow into your business. Just having the peace of mind, knowing that there are contracts coming in, that your team is just leveraging the system for delivery that you've always had. There's no change in operations. There's just a shift in profit, and it's a positive one. Go ahead and click the link down below to register for the GovCon Executive Briefing. And if you have any comments or questions, go ahead and list them down below, and I'll reach directly out to you and respond in the comments so that you have everything you need to make 2026 the best year you succeed.